Morning checks.
So I've already adjusted the belt because it was a bit slack. Only a little bit, so it's fine. Probably the next thing that we're going to have to buy is new belts for the engine. But that's not today's job.
And I'm trying this new thing with the kettle where I put it on the fireplace and hello.
I thought it was going to be where you make drinks.
I'm going to put some of the hot water in this and then also put the rest on the fireplace so that later I can make the drinks. So we left our mooring and we have been there for actually since the last video, pretty much. I think maybe 4 or 5 days. We put the bikes in for servicing and now we're going to head to Berkhamsted because we need a garbage bin and we need some water because I would like to wash some clothes. We made it through the first lock and I forgot to put my wellies on.
And I forgot to put the centre line on.
We're having blonde moments today because we haven't moved. It's kind of like when you moor up and you haven't moored up in a while, you've just been cruising, that you can't remember how to live
Without moving.
and then when you're moving you make mistakes.
And we got wedged with another boat in the lock because he had big tyres as his fenders. And he's driving in and then his fender hit my fender, my tiny little fender. And we got wedged and then I don't have the strength to pull that out. Luckily he does, obviously, because he probably does it all the time.
I do feel that when people put giant tyres on their boat they are yelling at, it's like caps lock in boating land. They're
Don't
yelling.
touch me.
So we wanted to share with you a kind of recap of our life on the cut. Because it's been about a week.
No, I think it's been 2 weeks tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
What have we learned? We've learned I've learned a lot about power management.
Not even from me.
I've not wanted to learn it, but it's kind of been a necessity. I've learned that there are certain times when I have to charge my phone and my laptop and have things ready because I can't just do my work and think that the power is going to last forever. So it's made me very conscious of power.
I've learned that there's 2 different types of inverter, but more about that in another vlog.
Yeah, when we moor up we'll talk more about that. I've learned about managing food, so having to manage the shopping and manage the kind of the meals and also managing the budget. So like how much everything costs and how much work I have to do or how many paintings I have to make to pay for dinner. That's been interesting. Big shout out to everybody who paid for my dinner this week. You know who you are.
I can't think right now of anything that I didn't already know.
I've learnt to be a little less protective of the cats.
I had to go out hunting for Munchie the other night because we wanted to go to bed and lock the cat flap and there was no sign of him. And he's a big fraidy cat, so he hasn't really enjoyed going out. But when it was dark the other day, he got his nerves and went for a big long walk down the towpath.
Yeah.
I nearly gave up on trying to find him.
We've both had to go munchie hunting.
No, you had to go Alice hunting.
No,
She
I
was
went.
just in the bush.
Oh, well, that was. But then remember, I had to go.
You
find...
weren't supposed to go find Munchie. You were sitting doing work, and then I came back and you'd gone.
No, the other day when I had to go all the way through the forest and everything.
That was a different mooring.
Yeah, but I still had to go find him.
That wasn't this week.
And then all the weeks are one big giant week. And then when I found him, he just meowed at me and went, meow. And he's so happy to see you on the towpath. He's like, what are the mummies doing out here?
It's a bit late for you to be out, Mummy.
Let me escort you home. Kind of lost count which lock this is, and but it's being a lovely day. Kath's putting the jug on, and we're going to have a cup of tea between this lock and the next lock. So we'll see if that's a little bit faster from my little trick this morning. We had lunch, which I prepared earlier. We have had a chat to family, and we're feeling pretty positive. I wanted to add to my list of things that I've learnt in the last 2 weeks of living nomadically, is that you kind of have to love walking or cycling, and you have to. I think it works for us because we're not tied into a time frame of when something has to happen, and we can just go out and get the groceries when we need groceries, and we can walk for like 40 minutes. The other day we walked for 40 minutes because we had to run an errand, or Kath will pick up, we'll go and post things for the business, and that's been kind of the biggest thing, is just understanding that you kind of have to have something in place for being remote and how you're going to access everything else.